All right, what's up, guys? So I wanted to check this out. This is the Jubilee black men versus black women thing. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting, thoughts. I mean, idea for a video. So I wanted to check it out. Now, say what you want, right? Detractors, whatever. I don't care. Now I most likely, right? Most likely will um you won't be able to see the image, right? You won't be able to see the picture or the video, and because Jubilee they copyright strike you. So you probably just hear the audio. So if you want again, if you want to watch the original video, right, without my commentary, which you probably don't want, right, then cool. Go to the original video. It's you can find it on Jubilee, right? You can find it on Jubilee. So um yeah, on Jubilee, black men versus black women, or the title is "I Only Date White Men." Okay, but yes, again, like I said, we'll just be reacting to the audio. So if I say something about the video, it is what it is. I'm watching it, but but I have to block the video itself. So hopefully it's interesting. Hopefully there's something to say. I mean, again, maybe if it's a bit more nuanced, maybe I won't have. But I don't know. If you guys are avid watchers, I have a lot of things to say. So let's check it out.
Black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like, I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And I have to, majority. Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let me.
I prefer to date outside my race. Step forward if you agree with the prompt.
Realistically, I would definitely want to marry a black man. I know that we have experienced a lot of trauma in our community, and
I do want to think where a lot of people constantly don't recognize that majority. I think 80% marry within their race, particularly I think the black, the black community. So it's really not even a question. It's not even a thought pattern because majority, right? We constantly think, oh, these black athletes are marrying white women. So what? Majority marry within their race. So is that even like a thought?
I think that trauma stems back from our colonizers, which have put us against each other, and it makes it difficult for us to come together and be healthy.
The colonizer? This is right here. This is the problem. Okay, this is the fucking problem I find. So you want to blame whatever on colonizer? What is that? I mean, seriously? Like over 1,000 years ago, I believe. What? 1800? No. What is it? I mean, probably what? At least, what would I say? Not 1,000 years ago. I'm sorry. Over 500 years ago? I forgot when. Let me double check. I'll correct myself. 500 years ago, right? About the 1500s. I'm not saying I know. I'm not saying that I know all this stuff, right? But okay, 500 years ago. And then a 500 years ago thing you're using as any kind of excuse for today. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Relationship, if that makes sense.
For me personally, growing up mixed, just because I did grow up more so with my mom on the white side of my family, just when it came to dating experiences with black men, if anything, they would always tell me, oh, you're really white, or just really racial comments about how I'm mixed that makes me uncomfortable. Like at the end of the day, I'm black. Right. I understand that I grew up predominantly on the white side of my family, but people don't see me on the street and think that's a white woman. Like
right. They're gonna look at you as a black woman.
Yeah, I'm a black woman.
And you're gonna go through the experiences that a black woman go through.
Yes, versus always bringing up that I have a white mama or I act a certain way because I grew up white. It's just, I'm me. I grew up how I grew up. And so if I am going to be in a relationship with a black man, I would like him to just not bring that up. But in my experience, that's been a constant conversation topic.
Can the disagreeers step forward now?
My mom, she was adopted by a white family man. She's also half white. And my parents were divorced after a while, and so I spent a lot of time with her, and we did things that were white. Like I was in Boy Scouts, and we camped, and we did all these different things that just weren't quote unquote black. I was reminded that I talked like a white boy all the time. And you know, those sort of things, they can add strain. Is that me saying I wouldn't date a black girl? Of course not. Like, you know, of course I try to. I date anybody, but I just think in practice, you know, for whatever reason, circumstantially, it doesn't always happen all the time.
I grew up in a very white area as well, but I found that when I started dating, even though it was only white girls surrounding me, they didn't understand my identity. So I was just gonna ask, like, did you, or have you found that even though you were in those white situations, did you feel understood by the white women you were dating, or misunderstood?
Define understood, I guess. I don't.
Are there things that you would express, maybe like politically or identity-wise, that they might be like, I don't really understand that?
I think it's hard for other races to completely understand what it's like being black and that experience. That's not to say that they can't be empathetic and sympathetic and understand and listen to you and learn things. But fundamentally, I just think a black woman is gonna have a different perspective.
So I'm from St. Louis, I'm not from California.
I have dated predominantly black women. I've dated predominantly black women. I've only had one woman that was Asian, so that was the only woman that's of a different race. I've dated predominantly black women. I think I think people that are jumps to the be on internet on social media are worlds apart from actual people, because actual people, they're not living life by what's my identity, what's my politic views, you know, white man this, black culture. I don't see that, right? At least not to the point where, oh, you know, we have identity problem. It's just, there's such a need to divide. That's why I see. And it's such a need to, oh, I'm different. I'm different than you. I'm different than you. But I'm different than you because of race, not just because of the individual person we are. It's just you got to make race known. And I'm like, I think I feels disconnected. Right? It really feels disconnected. So I don't know.
I'm not from LA, so I'm from a predominantly black area. And so growing up, there was only one white person in my class. And so I've only been exposed to our community. And to both of y'all's points, my mom is black, my dad is black, my family is predominantly black. So I've been around the black man my entire life. I have so much respect for the black man to where hearing a prompt say, I prefer to date outside my race, it kind of makes me think now, because I've never been exposed truly to the opposite end in such a depth way, to where I can look at another man from a different race and say, I would want to date you over a black man, when I have had solely my experiences with them, good and bad. So whether I had that bad experience, it doesn't make me say, okay, I don't think I want to date black men anymore. I want to go and date a white man. They're going to treat me better. I feel like as a man, you all should be treated as a species in itself. And you all have very intense ways of thinking. And
I
I
can
feel
go both ways.
Yeah, so, true. So I don't think that it has too much to do with race in itself. We have to take a deeper dive into men.
Do you think sometimes that women or black women, since we're talking to black women, can sort of superimpose what they believe a black man should be?
Sure. Yeah, like I have to say sure, but I think it honestly just depends. I think this will totally get off topic if you really want me to dive deeper into it. Truthfully, because I know that as a black woman, you can see there's black men who are excelling. There's black men who treat their women right. There's black men who honor and respect black women, and then you have black men who, although you all didn't step forward, would say, I don't want a black woman. I watched my mom struggle. I don't like black hair. I don't like black women's attitude. I don't like how they speak. I don't like how they don't respect men. I don't like the fact that they are not subservient enough for me. Yeah. So I do believe that we're on the totem pole we want.
Is that a problem?
Which one? I said why.
The black man that doesn't like any of the things that you just mentioned.
It's not a problem. I think it's a preference thing. I think that we've been dating the wrong people. You see that this woman is very loud and strong-willed. You know that you don't like that. Don't date her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Because I come from a similar background with you two. I grew up in Memphis, but I'm from Chicago. And most women down there, you know, and most women in the South generally are masculine.
That's the thing where I do agree that a lot of times we have to take a step back and understand It's who we choose. Plain and simple. It's not about race, it's not about gender, it's not about anything else. It's who we choose. So many thought pieces, so many conversations, so many, points lack that basis. Right? At the end of the day, whatever your view is, okay, if you particularly like, oh, men are this, men are that, women are this, women are that, it's like at the end of the day, it's about who you choose. There will always be, a man or a woman that doesn't follow what you just said. Okay, if you're saying, oh, women are, not submissive, okay, well, there will always be a woman that will be. You will find someone that would be. Oh, there are men that cheat and lie. Well, yeah, okay, but there will be men that don't. Do you want those men? Are you attracted to the men that don't? That's the thing. That's the basis of, honestly, any kind of talking point you can have. As long if you know that, then it will kind of deteriorate your thought pattern, your argument a lot. So, but people don't really recognize that, so they can stick to their arguments.
A little too
Masculine.
rough.
Masculine
A little
how?
too rough on the guy,
In the South?
Can you
like,
explain like just
masculine.
masculine? Like I just want to know like
Like-
specifically kind of what you mean.
Like instead of saying like nice hi, they're like what's up? What's up my guy?
okay. Okay.
It just seems a little more. It makes sense because it's a little more dangerous. So it's like their defense, based on the prompt. Like I disagreed because I don't date based off race. I date based off who I attract, and I generally attract women outside of black women because of my characteristics, the way I live.
I prefer black women. I attract a lot of black women, but I'm open to dating all types of women. I have even in the past. But when I do date black women, I definitely date a specific type of black women, not the representation that we have on the East Coast. That statue, are you guys familiar with that by any chance? I find
That
it.
was in New York.
Yeah, is it in New York?
I think so.
Yeah.
Times Square of the
yeah.
black lady.
I don't date. I mean, everyone knows that black woman. I find it that they can be very. It's almost like they try to be the man in the relationship, and there can only be one man in the relationship. And when it comes to relationships,
Now, like I said, okay, I've dated predominantly black women, so that right there is my experience. Now, I'm not again. There will probably be a black woman that's not like that, but typically, and to be honest, I have dated the woman that I would say the one that got away, right? That she wasn't like that. She was very loving, very kind, submissive, very agreeable. She was not the typical stereotypical or the portrayed black woman, the strong, independent. I don't need no man. It's my way, the highway is like, I'll fight you on everything you say. Everything is a battle. Sadly, that's that one. While compared to the other ones, that's the kind of the norm. I mean, my last relationship was hell in that respect, where, she said, "Oh, I want a dominant man, right? I want a man that's take charge. I'm submissive, all that stuff." Okay, yeah. When you say, "Oh, we should do this," or when you try to take charge, like, "No, I don't know, no, that's not right. You don't do that. No. It's a constant battle, constant, what is it? Questioning, constant questioning, disagreeable, combative, aggressive. Is like, this is a thing where, and a lot of women don't understand, particularly black women, where being a leader, right? Being a man, being, wanting to be a leader, it doesn't mean that you have to fight people on everything, okay? It is tiring. It is tiring to, okay, let's do this. No, we don't do that. Let's do this. No, I don't think that's wrong. It's like, let's do, no. It's like, then what the hell are you saying? That's not really submissive personality, right? That's not actually looking for a leader. That's looking for a battle. And that's what I've experienced, where a lot of these women say, "Oh, I want masculine men. I want leader men." No, you want a fucking battle. You want the man to be so masculine that he's fucking fighting you. He has to get in a cage with you and beat the shit out of you to win the argument, to make you, right? Make you follow his lead. That's what women think, that let's be masculine, let's be leader men. Fight for me. Make me feminine. That's the mindset that a lot of women, and like I said, particularly black women, have. Oh, I need a masculine man that can handle me. I need a masculine man that, can put me in my femininity. You kidding me? Seriously? You know how it's just like that shit is a constant battle, right? He has to fucking fight you in every decision to put you in your place. That's toxicity. That's the thing where you're creating abusive relationships.
The man is always going to take the path of least resistance. And so, yeah, I usually date black women, but it wouldn't be that particular kind.
When you say that particular kind, because that was just a statue, can you go?
Well, but it's a representation, right? It's
But
even.
it was just like
Shit, I didn't notice. The guy has one hand. I didn't notice that. That is different.
we have an image here, and this is the image, and you look at it. You don't know this woman. You've never had a conversation with this woman. You don't
See, I
know
would
who
say that I
she
do know
is.
that woman.
From the looks of her.
Yeah, I would say that I know
So
exactly
are we
who that
saying
probably
is.
doesn't
because
take
let's
care
go
of
into it?
herself.
Are we saying because she's a
Health-wise.
dark-skinned, heavy-set black woman? Is that what you guys getting at? Because that's we only have a visualization of who
Yeah,
she
that's
is.
the representation.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't date that particular kind of woman. And
Gotcha.
Stereotypes
then when you
come
start
into play.
talking
Okay.
about weight and stuff in the black community, it could
Yeah.
be really sensitive for the women, but that does play into attraction.
That needs to be a conversation that we need to have, though.
We always have it, and they don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Like Lizzo, body positivity.
Right.
I mean, she's
Try,
losing weight.
try telling a black woman about her-
Accountability is what I know.
Yes, I agree. Accountability, major accountability.
Yeah.
You said you date people that you attract. I think that's really important that he said that. Because at the end of the day, like we can talk about who our preferences are, whatever. You can only date who wants to date you at the end of the day. Which is why I asked the question about superimposing what you think a black man should be onto a black person. I feel like a lot of the qualities I bring to the table, other races seem to appreciate and value a little bit more.
What qualities are they?
Yeah, what qualities?
Okay, so I've heard a bunch of times growing up, like, oh, like I want like a thug, for instance, and I understand like that's
It's major in the South.
stereotypical.
It's major in
It is major, even in California now.
That's
I mean,
major,
like
yeah, here it is.
it's like I guess I kind of understand what some of the appeal that might be, I suppose, but at the same time, like if we're trying to like build a healthy community, why are we prioritizing that?
That bores,
for
a
some
lot of,
groups?
that bores a lot of women in the black community.
But and that's my
When
point.
you start
like,
talking
yeah.
about positive things and stuff like that, they want somebody that's going to be destructive generally.
I disagree.
I don't disagree at all.
I
I've seen so
disagree.
many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. So much so
You
to the
gotta
point
have a
where-
gun.
Yeah, they like the emotional highs and lows is like sex in and of itself to her. I've seen women like
God, that's so weird. I know. I'm terrible. I'm being terrible, right? But I mean, it's like, shit. This is so terrible, so terrible. Seeing that makes me think about Scary Movie, right? The Butler. I know that is disgusting of me. I know. I'm sorry, but come on. It's like such a fucking beacon, which is kind of crazy. It's small, but it's such a beacon to boop. Like, listen, the thing. Once I noticed, I can't stop noticing. I'm sorry. It's like and maybe I'm making you notice, but it's like once I notice, I cannot stop noticing when this guy talks, when the image is on him. It's so hard, and I just like, oh my God, it was like.
this where I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are
So-
thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And
Majority.
I have to majority.
Majority.
Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let me
bad,
let
my
me.
bad.
let me tell you, it is not thugs. There is no line that says
Yeah.
I'm a thug. There are white men, black men, Puerto Rican men. I'm sorry, Hispanic, and
Maybe he right? He missaid by thugs. I believe, let's say this. It's the players. It's the bad boys. He should have said that. The players, the bad boys, the pookies. The men that are highly desirable. The men that get a lot of play. Those are the things. Where he assumed like thugs get a lot of play. They probably do. But I'm saying, like, you know what? Stereotypically, just say players. You cannot argue that players don't play, right? Players don't get around. That's literally in the name. It's the players. The players, the pookies, those are the men. Men that are highly desirable sexually.
in general, there's no percentage that says only thugs are giving the most STDs out. I'll tell you one thing, black women, heterosexual black women are the most high at risk for HIV right now, and it's not just from black men. It's from all men. That's why I want us to really dive deep into that. And then you're speaking of a community saying they only want thugs. I think education plays
Mostly.
a major role in that, because if you're an educated woman, I'm an educated black woman from the trenches. Have you all heard that term? The
We wouldn't be
trenches.
talking to you then.
I-
You
no, no,
wouldn't
no.
be the archetype.
No,
But there
of
is a
course.
large majority of black women.
Like
that
where are
would-
the studies
yes.
coming from? Where
Where are the studies coming
Yeah.
from? The numbers.
The-
The CDC. Who?
Like specific
Local-
city, state?
Nationally.
Okay.
Nationally.
Can I just say something? I think we also need to look at what you said earlier, our environment. Why are we being quote unquote hostile? Why do we have these masculine features? It's because we're put into these situations where we have to be a certain way or evoke certain characteristics. And although like certain things are portrayed online heavily, you know, like, oh, black women want to be like Sexy Red, black women want to be sexualized. So kind of something that we should all look at is taking assumptions out of the window, because there are a lot of assumptions being brought up. So like, who are you talking to right now? You're not talking to a heavy representation. Obviously, you're speaking with people who are heavily educated right now. So kind of consider that and notice that, you know, you're not always gonna find a black woman that is ghetto. You could also find a very smart black woman. You know, you're not always gonna find a smart white girl. You could find a very ghetto white girl. And stereotypes are very important in conversations like this because we need to throw them out the window.
Black men are intimidated by successful black women.
I don't disagree that we need to throw stereotypes out of the window. The problem is that no one is fighting against it. No one's fighting to do it, right? No one's fighting to do it. No one's making the actual effort. Well, I'm not saying no one, right? I would say this. What I see, the majority is not. I don't see that the majority are fighting against it. I honestly believe, let's say the non-aggressive black women, the non-combative black women is the minority, not the majority. That's what I see. Now, I'm not saying that even when you say majority minority, it could be 51-49, right? Not a huge difference, but I would say, right? Again, I just want to preference that. So just don't think, oh my God, majority minority. No, it could be small difference, but I want to preference that. I do think that it's a large majority, right? I'm not necessarily giving not an actual number because I don't have a number. It's not a study or anything. It's again, it's coming off a basis, assumption, right? Just assuming. So whether I'm wrong, right, cool. Don't matter. Just what I'm seeing. So a lot of things, yes, you could just base it on how you feel, what you see, and other things you base on numbers and facts and statistics and stuff.
It's good that you're being real with yourself, though.
Sometimes-
That's important.
Wait. Okay. I will say, like, sometimes, I'm not going to say all black men are. I mean, I know I've heard from plenty of my friends and plenty of older women that I know who are kind of successful, and they're
Okay, are black men are intimidated by successful black women. Let me say this. Are they some black? Let's we could use the black women, but I think this concept can apply to everything. So, but let's do this. Are there black men intimidated by successful black women? There's always exceptions. There's always an example. I would say this. How you gotta think about it is that no. Because this is a thing because you got to think about intimidation, right? Intimidation. No one cares, right? No one's like, oh I'm intimidated by your success. No, it's more like they don't care. It doesn't make you more attractive. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you, oh my God. This is a thing where, I want to see if I can see. It doesn't. Well, I just want to think about it. It's like we look at the definition. To be intimidated is to be made to feel fearful, timid, less confident, often due to the presence or action of someone or something perceived as powerful, aggressive, or superior. I mean, here's the thing where I don't think it's fearful. I don't necessarily think it's intimidated. Less confident. I mean, that probably is a small minority, but I think it goes back to a lot of men don't care. It doesn't make you attractive. So in the sense where like you're with a successful woman, right? A powerful, successful woman. And the flip side is like, okay, great, that's cool, that's nice, but really that doesn't make me more attracted to you. And in some sense, women don't realize that when you are to be successful, you have to have a certain type of personality. And in essence, we attribute those types of personalities to men, right? Masculine personalities. Disagreeableness, combativeness, aggressive, stuff like that. So it's more like men are not like timid or fearful. I'm not saying all, but I think majority of men just find that unattractive, right? Because when you have male traits, when you have masculine traits, it's just like, okay, am I getting with a man in a woman's body? It's like, because at the end of the day, attraction, right? Physical attraction, it gets you. It's personality attraction that keeps you. So yeah, you may be a beautiful woman and you attract them, but you may have a very masculine personality. You detract them, right? You repel them. I think that's more the thing. I don't think necessarily. Now, yes, the intimidating is it's a very open kind of definition, so it's very extensive. But I don't really think it's that intimidating. I just think that it's like more like I'm not really attracted. I don't really care, right? Because again, I'm not scared that you are successful. I don't. For a man that's on his own shit, right? You gotta think, okay, the minority men is the men that, let's say, typical loser in the sense that he doesn't have his shit together. He has no, he doesn't have a view of his future. He doesn't have nothing to his name, right? He's I think an unproductive adult, right? Unproductive adult would be intimidated by anyone that's productive. Would be intimidated that anyone is successful, right? So that's the thing. Where yeah, if you're getting with an unproductive adult, which is in itself ridiculous, why would you be a successful woman getting with a man that's unproductive, that's going nowhere? So I'm not even saying the high value men. I'm not saying top tier men. If he's a man that's productive, that's doing his shit, pays his bills, has a roof over his head, not begging you to use your car, not asking you to pay his bills and shit like that. He has his shit together, even though he's not top tier high value. He's not scared, right? He's not scared. He's not less confident. He's like, okay, great for you. Doesn't make me want to be with you, right? It doesn't make me hate. It doesn't make me hate you, but honestly, it doesn't attract me. So,
Like, yeah, it's really hard to date because men will be like, oh, you make more money than me or something.
You guys like to say that we shouldn't compare, as women, we shouldn't compare ourselves to men because we'll never be the same as you guys. But you guys do that with us. Compare yourselves to us. Like, I don't make as much as her, or I don't have all the degrees that she has.
that's fucking stupid. This is a thing where you know how you can prove it otherwise, right? It is how if a man is less than a woman, she calls him a loser. If a man doesn't have his shit together, he calls him a bum, a scrub. Men wouldn't mind, right? You think about it hypothetically. If he's like, let's say, unproductive man, right? And he's with a woman that's successful. If that woman does not make him feel less than, right? It's like, you can't take me out. You can't do nothing with me. You can't pay, we have to always pay, 50-50, all this shit, right? These kind of languages, honestly, put down thing. Then I think he wouldn't give a shit. He gets to have sex with you. He doesn't have to, provide for you. He doesn't have to give you a lifestyle. He doesn't need feel like, oh, I need to, give you a lifestyle, or I need to keep up with your lifestyle. Like we're hanging out, we're chilling, we're having fun, we're having sex. I'm good. No, because it's not. Men are not comparing their life with you. You are comparing your life with his. Why did I say this? Like, here's the thing. Again, men don't have to pay for the date. Don't have to help you with shit. He gets to have fun with you, have sex with you. What the hell would he care else, right? He doesn't care if you're two degrees, because him not having a degree still gets to have sex with you, right? Him not having a degree still gets to be around you. So he don't give a shit. Men would not. I'm not saying that this is the reality. I'm saying that men would not care. The problem that a lot of women don't see is that they make a man, like, Here's a man that's unproductive, but they're attracted to that man. They like this man. They think he's good looking. They think he's good in bed. But he's a bum. He's a scrub. He's a loser. He can't, he can't pay for a meal. He can't provide a lifestyle. He can't take me on trips. He can't do nothing. He can't keep up with me. When I go on jet settings, he has to just stay home and chill. Right? So it's not that men are comparing you. It's that subconsciously, a lot of men know that if I can't keep up, I'm going to be viewed as a loser, as a bum, as a scrub, and you don't want me. So a lot of men will then compare, because I believe, like I said, I gave you the scenario where men would not, because men, it's like not that big of a deal. He wouldn't make it a big of a deal if he knew that you wouldn't.
I don't know if it's the same kind of comparison we're talking about, right? So I think a lot of the time when people are saying women shouldn't compare themselves to men, is women shouldn't try to be men, versus men comparing themselves to women. It's more like, am I fulfilling that traditional masculine role that's kind of expected? Now, we can have the conversation as to whether or not that's still apt for our time or not, whether that's still relevant. I would say it is, just because it seems like people seem to appreciate, at least from my perspective, women seem to appreciate men who make more than them still.
Intimidation is a form of insecurity. So that stems from lack of communication and not dating someone on your level. Not you specifically, but if the
And that's the thing, right? Not on your level. Men don't view women, oh, you're not on my level, right? At least when it comes to, finances and shit like that. Men don't care, right? But women do. Women view that. Men are more like, you know what? It's like what their level is that if they think about attraction level, right? How your looks. Women, they think about probably looks, they talk about finance, they think a lot about things. So, I think it's a bit different.
person isn't dating someone on their level, there needs to be that communication, because obviously that person is with you for other reasons.
I don't want to make the broad statement that it's all black men, because it's not. It's specifically black men that, for whatever reason, in their own life, they're not happy with where they are at. They have some sort of insecurity. Maybe it's career insecurity, financial insecurity. So if they're with that archetypal strong black woman, in my experience, instead of being like, oh, like, that's awesome, you have a degree in this, you got this job, you did this, they're like, okay.
Oh, I might as well just say it. I know probably people, if anyone watches this, they probably will say it. It's like, oh, what's an Asian man, talking about the one, it's social media. Don't put it on social media for everyone to watch. If you wanted a specific people to, to only look at, to only have opinions on social media. So shut the fuck up with that, right? I mean, like, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it, right? That's the freedom. And like I said, if you don't like my commentary, it doesn't make sense for you to watch my video when you can go straight to the material. I wanted to say that, right? And like I said, my experience is I've only dated black women, so I only know at least what they say about the part where black women part, right? I'm not necessarily questioning things about the black men, because I don't necessarily know it. Now, I do have black friends. I've known black guys, so maybe there's certain things that I may talk about, but that's where my viewpoint goes.
Okay, big mama, you got money? You got money, big mama? I'm like, what the hell? Or like, I've even had experiences where they were like basically slut shaming me, talking down to me because I got a better job, or I lost weight and people started noticing that. So now I was a whore. But in my experience, if I've been with a black man who, he is successful, he has a job that he likes, he's pursuing his hobbies, he has X, Y, and Z, comments like that are never made, because he's not
supporting you.
Yeah, he's not internalizing your success as his failure.
Yeah.
Met that across all men. They just feel intimidated when you are successful. And in my experience too, I do tend to be more of a dog.
Now, I want to say again, probably, right? There probably are men like that. I mean, most likely. I just feel like, again, personal feeling, we don't probably check where you make men feel that, right? In the sense that, here's the thing where why I see it like that is that we always think about this, or I always think about this in comparison. Here's a woman that's successful, dating a man that's equally successful or more successful. There's a high, I'm not saying it's it's not certainty, but there's more likelihood that this woman Dating a man who's equal to her or better than her will be more submissive, agreeable, or loving, or whatever. Okay, you would treat this man with a certain respect, whatever. Right? You would treat this man a certain way that wouldn't facilitate insecurities. Now, let's think about it the opposite way, where she's successful, dating a man that's a loser, right? A man that doesn't have a job, a man that's living in his mother's basement, like a man that has gone nowhere. You think this woman who's successful, who has her shit together, would listen to anything this man would say? Like, you think that this woman would respect this man when he says something? Oh, don't do this, don't do that. No. Who are you to tell me what to do? Who are you to try to lead me? Right? Oh, it's like, no, you got to do it like this. You got to do. Who are you to lead me? That's the thing. And I'm saying this is the exact same man, right? Personality wise, exact same man as the man who, it's parallel universe in a sense, right? Same personality. How he talks to her, how he comes off is the same man, just different lives. She would disrespect the loser, right? Comparative to, let's say, his version that is successful. So, I mean, I'm not saying that there are no cases where, he's automatically, he does the insecurities to himself. I would say, and again, this is just assumption, this is my own views. Men are more insecure because of how they're treated. Okay? Not just because, how they make themselves feel insecure by whatever, the state in life. It's like, oh, you are yelling at me, you're disrespecting me, you're looking down on me, you are belittling me. That's why but again, I just want to give that other side as well.
Dominant black woman, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally okay, but it does scare some men.
Does it make you feel like you shouldn't lead with, because I used to be the type of person, I would lead with like all my accomplishments or my businesses. I would lead with that thinking that, he might like me even more because this is what I do, or, so.
Oh, that right there, I hate. Because this is the mindset that a lot of women don't understand. Great. You have multiple degrees. You're a PhD. Awesome. Great. You have a business. Awesome. Oh my God. Great. You make 6 figures every month. Oh, great. You're a millionaire. Awesome. Great. It's amazing. Your accomplishments, your degrees, your money in the bank. Amazing. But here's the thing. So what? Not saying her in particular, right? Because I don't know her. I don't know these. I'm not talking in particular. In general, women will want a man that's her equal or better. In general, women do not desire, nor they are unattracted to, men that would go 50-50, men that need providing for, men that use women financially. So let's say this, a man that's her equal. Great, her accomplishments, in a man's mind is like, he would love it, right? Let's build an empire together. We are combining resources, right? And making them better. But in practice, is that he still pays for dates, pays for trips, pays for bills, pay for rent. He's still using his money while her money is her money. What is the saying, right? His money is our money. Her money is her money. So really, great. It's nice. You're not men, right? Men hope that at the very least, since you are accomplished, you won't be a leech. You're not extracting resources from me, at the very least. But when it comes to practice, it's like, at the end of the day, even a woman that's a millionaire, she still expects the man to pay. She still expects the man to buy gifts, pay for trips, pay for dates, not go 50-50 on anything. So, in practice, what the fuck is what's the use of your degrees, of your accomplishments, of your money? What's the use? Because if you can't even take the burden off of his own financial, burdens, it doesn't matter. While a man's accomplishments, a man's money is important to women because it takes the burden off of women. Women can extract resources from men. The sad part is why men don't care, or at the very least, it doesn't detract men from you, is that they don't benefit from your career, your accomplishments, your money. Men don't benefit from it. At the very least, men hope that they don't, that it's, at least it doesn't hurt men, right? So you won't be a leech. If you are an accomplished woman, you are a millionaire woman, you're not dying for him to, I don't know, pay a trip for you, buy a house for you, all this stuff. You're not, you don't need it because you are accomplishment. You could buy your own shit. But even in those situations, women still expect men to. So men in practice is still like, great, awesome. This is a great talking material, but really in practice, who gives a shit? Because again, in men's mind, they don't benefit from it. Why do men care more about your beauty, your body, your womb? That's what men benefit from. Women are more easier. Women will easily give their body rather than their money to a man. Right? It's much more easy for a woman to give her body to a man than give her bank account to a man. So he benefits from her body, not her money.
Now it's just like, I don't like to share anything when I'm dating. Like, I don't do anything. I just sit at home.
What I've had to learn is because I used to diminish myself a lot.
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, I want something that's real. I want
Yeah.
someone who's gonna love me for me and all that encompasses that. So I'm gonna be unapologetically 100% me. I'm loud, I talk my shit, I speak my mind, and if you don't like that, then you're not for me.
But I think that this specific prompt goes back to the original prompt. Men who prefer to date women outside of their race. I believe that it's not really a race thing, it's a class thing. And I honestly believe that if I'm a black woman and you already view me as a stereotypical black woman, loud, disrespectful, I don't respect black men, if you view me as that way, on top of me being successful. See, I don't have to be more successful than you. Sometimes men, specifically black men, believe that you don't need to have so much confidence in yourself. I feel like you are competing with me.
Yes.
My success does not revolve around your success. We should want to be successful together, which leads back to that specific detail about creating a healthy relationship, a healthy black successful relationship. And I believe that black men view women who are very confident. I'm very confident in myself. I don't disrespect you. I respect you so much, but I respect myself more. And I think that men have a hard time toting that line of keeping my masculinity and upraising your femininity.
I think there's definitely some validity in that. I think however people decide to arrange like their marriage and their relationships, I think it's totally up to them. Like whatever roles you choose, that's up to you. If that works, if it's healthy, you should do that. I wanted to unpack the on your level thing that you said. So what does that mean, on your level?
Whether that's financially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, anything, or all of the above. Someone who you feel you resonate well with, no insecurities. I feel like, I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess for the purpose of this conversation, I want y'all's opinions on this. Do you think black women generally would date or marry a man who wasn't financially or had no prospects of being financially, socioeconomically on their level?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
See it every day.
Literally.
Every single day.
Okay, would you marry? That's the thing, right? Let's. Yes, women date losers. I don't disagree with that. Women do date losers. Women do date losers every day. Would you marry, commit, submit? Right. That's a better question. Would you marry, submit, follow the leadership, or even have a partnership, right? Lifelong partnership with a man that's not on your level, that man that has no future prospect of ever being on your level financially. No, they wouldn't. I like I said, you'll probably be with him for a certain amount of time. Won't be in for long.
I wonder why the perception isn't that then. Like I wonder where that comes from then. Like the majority, and I'm sure maybe someone will agree with me when they walk over here. Because necessarily you're not going. I mean, black women are most educated right now. Like necessarily you are not going to probably find a black man who is on your level. Like it's just the numbers are not there. So a lot of black men might feel like, okay, you might just be settling because we're here now. But would you be dating me if it weren't somebody else?
You know, I think that's actually really interesting that you mentioned that, because it's something that is socially imposed. And I think a lot of men, not just black men, but men in general, seek social validation from their peers. And so when other men look at each other. They're like, okay, well, what are you doing for work? Are you making more money than me? You know, obviously they're more competitive with each other, and then obviously that brings competitiveness within the relationship, which is something that shouldn't be the case, but it is in a lot of situations.
The only reason I disagreed with the prompt is just because I agree with everything you guys are saying, but personally, because my mum, who's black, she was always very successful, so I've never like felt intimidated by success. But I agree with what you were saying, that I think that in my experience, if you aren't perceived to be on the financial level of a woman, then she'll just look past you straight away. I'm a musician, so like we know that we're not going to be financially successful until it hits. So I'm always more like, see my potential. But I think there are a lot of people who don't acknowledge potential. They're just
Yeah.
like, you need money now,
Yeah, that's
and
me.
that's all I'm going for.
That's me. I don't see potential.
I agree. I'm 26.
Appreciate
I'm
the honesty.
successful. There's so much potential that honestly, when I first see you and you are not economically secure, I'm not looking at you. I don't have intentions on being the breadwinner. But
Right.
that, being a breadwinner and being successful are two different things to me.
Can we have the disagreeer step forward? We'd love to hear
Welcome.
from the
So I
disagreeers
strongly
first.
disagree. No man is intimidated by any woman because of her credentials. That's not the case. It's usually the character and traits that come with that. They usually have extremely high
This is the thing about I'm not. It's hard to say no one, right, in anything, because there's always exceptions. That's why I was trying to go for it. But yes, it's the traits that comes along with it. That, like I was putting my example, it's the traits. You know, it's how you treat somebody. If you view them even subconsciously or consciously below you, you're going to treat them this way. While if you know that this man is equal to you or above you or better than you, you're going to treat him this way.
egos, and you can't tell them anything. And they usually come off extremely masculine. Like what you said you can be masculine and it might be too much for men. It's an attraction thing. Men are not attracted to masculine traits in women. That's what it is.
I don't think that's necessarily true because someone who, for example, I've known men who were intimidated because and jealous because I had a college degree and they did not. It's not just the trait that came with that. It was I have a diploma, they did not. It's not just my quote unquote masculine
Right.
traits that was a turnoff.
I would say that might be unique to him, but generally, it's the traits that come with it. It's not the degree, it's the traits. This idea of dating down and dating on your level stems from women. When men have money, they don't view it as dating down when they're with their women. You guys say that, not men. If a man has money and he's taking care of a woman, there's no point that he thinks he's dating down. He's just taking care of his woman.
I think it's dangerous for a woman to date down because we see it all the time. Men.
You guys all said that you would. You guys all said that you would date someone that made less than you, and then you said that
No.
you didn't.
I didn't
I never-
respond
I-
because
we-
I'm
I-
not
I-
sure.
Did you say that?
I never.
I thought they said. Then they
I
all
never
switched.
sworn one of you-
didn't
I
see
thought
that.
that's what y'all said.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't see potential. I don't see
Yeah.
Potential's
I
not guaranteed.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate economic security. That's all I want.
Oh,
If
we
you are
know that,
secure as
yeah.
a man,
What if you're in a field where like you're still
Yeah, they did. They did say they would date down. So really, it's like it's the insanity of women. It really is. So, but I said this: women have dated losers. If he's attractive enough, she will date him regardless of his financial status. Now, dating for long is different.
studying, or it's something that you know that the payoff isn't immediate?
I wouldn't view that as potential, though. I mean, okay, you can, but honestly, if someone says, I'm going to school for psychology, when you graduate, if you want to become a psychologist, I know that you have to go and get a master's degree. 9 times out of 10, you have to go and get a doctorate degree to become a big breadwinner, okay? I know that eventually you're leaving from that field of study and you are in the works of going and becoming
And the thing with the breadwinner thing, this is why, and women are showing why their accomplishments, their degrees, their careers, their money, it means nothing. Because at the end of the day, you still search for the breadwinner. You're both, it's like if you are so accomplished, right? No such thing as a breadwinner. You're both contributing equally. But no, women still subconsciously want the man to be better. Want a better man to be better. You want a man to be the breadwinner. He's the one who's providing. Instead of you both contributing. The difference.
economically secure. See, that's not potential to me. You are a musician, yes? And so you make money?
Yes.
If you take on one extra person and they lose their job, do you think that you'll be able to carry you all's household?
Soon.
Soon. Okay, so myself listening to you, as I stated, if I talk to you as a friend, because that's how dating starts, I'm listening to you, and if you have enough charisma, I'll look at you and I'll say, okay, this is a man who I think will eventually become economically secure for us. See, I want to date someone who is economically secure for himself first. So that's what I'm thinking about
I'll be
potential.
honest, I don't believe any of this.
You don't
I think
believe
it
any
just
of
comes
this?
straight to just superficial stuff.
Superficial?
I mean, we live in a superficial society. Women only want the men with money.
Yeah, as they should.
Well, thank you.
But isn't, I just,
Let's just cut the BS.
I feel that's
It's about money.
Yeah, it is.
That's
That should be the number
Yeah.
one thing when you're dating. That should be the first thing that
Why?
you.
Materialism
one of the
should
things.
be the number one
It's
thing.
not. It's not just materialism. It's that
It is materialism.
as a
There's so many
woman,
assholes with
as
money,
a
right?
woman, we.
It is money buys material. That's it. I mean, money buys necessities. That is essentially material as well, but you don't. This is a thing where when you focus on materialism, money, because you got to think about this, okay? If you make, as a woman, makes, let's say 50K, him as a man, let's say make 40K, together that's 90K. That would be enough to put a down payment on a house. Boom, you bought a necessity together. Together, you could both pay bills, both eat, all necessities. Buy clothes, right? All necessities. Or just simple clothes, all necessities. Beyond that, okay? Beyond that is now the lifestyle. And that's the thing. That's the materialism. Even average people together, contributing together equally, can provide all the necessities you need. The problem we're having with society is that now, with so many people wanting the luxury past the necessities, okay? So this is why now you definitely approach the world of materialism.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just about money, but I
think
do
it is
agree it's
about
important.
money.
It's not.
There's just a lot of
Money
BS.
should be the number one thing one of the top things that a woman should look at when she's dating.
It is the main
Well,
topic.
It is.
saying,
It should be.
Are you saying one of or the most important?
The most important, yes.
I partially disagree because I think there are kind of like we mentioned earlier, there are preferences. If you find someone that is interested in a certain characteristic that you have, perfect, great for you. And so we have these assumptions that, oh, all women are superficial. That is not the case. Absolutely.
Most.
Majority.
Okay, well,
Yes,
that is
they are.
That's what the numbers
maybe
I don't
what
care
you
about words, I care
encounter.
about actions. The actions say that women are superficial.
Maybe what you encountered, that may possibly be
I
the
think
case.
there will be a lot of men that agree
However,
with me.
can you let me finish?
Yes.
Okay. Historically, if we look at the role of a man and we look at the role of a woman, that is what is proposed societally to us. And maybe it comes down to security. That is a very,
Yes.
very important thing
Security.
within a
Yes.
relationship, within a community.
But here's the thing, insecurity. We are not living in a world where women necessarily need a man for security. You don't really need a man for security. You can provide your own security, right? You need a man for partnership. He adds to your security. This is the problem we're having with a lot of women. Where, what world do you want to live in? Do you want to live back in the 1920s? Is that the world you want to live in? Or are you living in the are you living in the 25, right? The 2025. Which world are you living in? Because you saying you need men for security. Do you? I'm pretty sure a lot of you are single. Do you not feel secure in your life? Women are getting more degrees than ever, making more money than ever, having careers, having jobs that are even better than men. So are you not providing security for yourself? So really, it's like you're saying, oh, historically, again, you're not living throughout history. I hate it when women pick and choose what they want to do, right? Or how they want to use information in history. It's like, oh, I want a traditional man, but you know what? I want to be a modern day free woman. It's like, please stop picking and choosing. You can't create your own, I don't know, religion, ideology, all that shit. You really can't, right? Just like, live in the times that make sense. Stop trying to, grab, parts of everything to make it work. Because honestly, usually it doesn't work out because you're using a lot of productive, counteracting ideas. It's absolutely insanity.
within a society. Security is important. At the end of the day, you need money to put food on the table. Whether you're by yourself, whether you're in a relationship, whether you have kids, right? Is that a concern?
My thing is, if you're dating someone strictly for money, I don't want to hear you getting angry about him sleeping around or him doing whatever.
The
If
men
you
with
marry
no
him-
money do the
Cheat.
same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a species topic we're talking about. That's
The men with no money
And then
have
we
less
say-
options to do that.
and more time.
My point, but what I'm saying is
But do
like,
the men
Okay, more time. Doesn't mean that get more opportunity. It's like, here's the thing where a man with no money, right? He may get maybe, right, some options, right? Let's say 10 options. The chance, right? While yes, you get with a man with money, he has 100. A drastic difference. Drastic difference. Now, but the difference is, right? I mean, the key thing is those two men. How about not caring about if he makes money or don't? How about caring that if he's a moral man? That is the thing. That's the thing you should be caring. We have too many women, okay, caring about superficial things, how he looks, how much he makes. You care so little about who he is as a person. That, right, in my honest opinion, as a mate, should be the most valuable thing. I've said this before where, yes, a beautiful woman is amazing. That's great. But at the end of the day, being beautiful does not mean that she would treat me well. Hell, being ugly does not mean she would treat me well. I'd rather know that she treats me well, regardless of, where she falls on the attraction spectrum. Okay? That should be number one. And then, everything else is like adds to it, subtract from it, whatever. But number one should be who she is, how she treats me. That is really my main concern. And I believe more people should have that kind of mindset where I care more about the character. I care more about the personality. Problem is, we care more about the superficial things. And then once we get that person who has those superficial traits, now we start caring about, who they are, their personalities, their morals, their principles. Kind of like you put it to the wayside, and now that you're in it, you care. It's like kind of like a bit too late.
with no money really have the option
What is it,
to
man?
sleep around with a lot of women?
Yes.
Yes, we
They
see it all the
do,
time.
because it's a lot of women who have less money than no money. And if you are a man who has no money, but you're with a woman who has money, you have money, because that's how women are.
That also goes back
Not
into
how we are.
validation. With you guys saying that's a bad man if he doesn't have X, Y, Z, then you also need to look at why does a man need to be emasculated for not being where he wants to be.
And if you're a wealthy man and you want other women, get into a polygamous relationship. You do not have to cheat.
But it's kind of like common sense in modern times that men at the top 10% that most women want are generally like that and have options. And they're not going to settle for just one woman.
So why portray as if you want one woman?
Who
I don't
said
think they do.
portray? Who said
I
they
think they
portray
do.
as they want one
It's
woman?
not a secret.
Most men go to that level just so they can get the amount of women.
It's a complete double standard, but I think it is the reality. I think men want the idea of this woman is only having sex with me because men.
Territorial.
Yeah,
Dominate.
exactly. Yeah, again, this is a double standard, not excusing this, but the amount of men who are obsessed with a woman being a virgin, but also wanting them to be this like sexual dominatrix as well.
That's the thing. I hate when people, particularly men, misconstrue men's ideology. I'm not going to say nobody, no man, but I don't believe any big amount of men are saying, "Oh, I want a virgin. I want a virgin." Right? Oh, that's what I want, a virgin. In reality, men are saying it's not that I want a virgin, it's that I don't want a woman that's ran through. Right? There's a difference between 0 and 100. There's a drastic difference between having no bodies and having 100 bodies. That's what men care about, right? That's what men say more. Not that men, there probably is, but I don't hear that often. Oh, I want a woman with 0 bodies. It's just that I don't want a woman with 100 bodies. Okay? That's the thing. Men are not saying, oh, I want a woman that never had sex with. No. It's just that I don't want a woman that's been like, had a train ran on her. I don't want a woman that's, every male friend she has, she knows them intimately. That's the thing what men are talking about. Not that, oh, I need a virgin. No. Men are not like, that's why I think it's so dishonest. That's what you boil it down to. Men are not asking for virgins. Men are just asking, don't be ran through. Don't have a body count that's in the triple digits. Hell, I mean, like, I think 50 men is like quite crazy itself. But still, triple digits? My God. How can you been around that many men, right? That's the shit. And to be honest, I don't believe men are asking for women to be like insanely sexually experienced, right? He said domination. No, I don't think men are asking for that either, right? Men are asking to be that you like sex, right? Once you have sex with that man, you actually want to have sex. You actually want to do things. In my like when I was younger, at my the girl that got away, right? She was a virgin. But man, when we had sex, she had no experience. But when we had sex, she was crazy in bed. Like, I come out of it, like, the back is bloody. My back is bloody. Tired of shit. It's like, it went in an hour. And it's like, what the hell is going on? This is too long, right? So, yeah, it doesn't mean that, oh, he needs, it's men wanting virgin, yet men wanting a woman that's, a dominatrix. So, no. It's just that men would love a woman that, not necessarily virgin, but she is actually enjoying sex with them. She actually want to have sex with them. It's such a big difference between a woman that actually enjoys sex with you to a woman that don't even give a shit, right? And in reality, a woman that has 100 bodies, there's a higher likelihood that she won't enjoy sex with you because she has so many experiences that, you know what, the likelihood that you can compare is not that high.
Complete idiocy, but yeah, I think unfortunately men would rather know that their women are only sleeping with them, but then they are happy to give it out wherever.
I disagree. I think men just obviously they want their women to only be sexual with them, not with other men. And I don't think that's stupid or idiotic in any way.
What the hell is he keep touching his fucking nose for? It's so weird. Like, and the septum thing is, God.
Well, I just think it's a double standard because if we expect ourselves to be able to put it out anywhere, then I think it would be fair.
There's a
It
reason
depends on
why.
the person. Depends the kind of guy you're talking about.
There's a reason why
Same
women
about
can
women.
get pregnant by one man every 9 months, but a man can get multiple women pregnant.
Oh,
all
of
at
course,
once.
yeah. Evolution-wise, yeah, we want to throw it everywhere we can, but I think for modern relationships, that doesn't necessarily work.
I just wonder, do most women want to sleep with multiple people the way most men want to sleep with multiple people? I think,
Now,
do they want the same things?
I would say yes. They do it.
I just think that men, a lot of guys intrinsically, when they have more options, they want to exercise them versus I think a lot of women, a lot of time when they're committed to one person would rather just be with that one person.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah, someone crashed into my car and I couldn't move all my limbs for a while, but I'm
OnlyFans and hookup culture have ruined modern dating.
That's not really a race-specific question. She said OF and hookup culture have ruined modern dating. I would think they would do more race-specific questions, but I mean, technically, right? And how I go about it is that I think not. I don't think 90% of the time could you make anything race-specific or anything really specific. It's very general, right? Because anything you could say with the black community or black men, black women, you could say with any other race. So I do believe that dating is dating, right? There's not a drastic difference, if at all, between races, right? So,
I would say that it has really completely destroyed dating and relationships. It's really sad, but it has definitely watered down a lot of things too. I'm seeing that, women they're waiting to turn 18 and then hopping on OnlyFans, that's really just a reflection of how the culture is. I think it shows a really bad reflection on how the culture is, and it's really sad in my personal opinion. I think it's disgusting.
My last long-term relationship, which is also why I've been single as long as I have been, he was subscribing to OnlyFans girls, because porn's one thing. It's like, I see it as, it's a scenario-based, it's general. You're not looking up a specific girl versus you're following a specific girl while you're in a relationship as well. Paying for it, logging into her live cams, like this, it's like, that's a whole thing. And it's not counted as cheating in a lot of men's eyes because
I think it's weird, right? I question that now I'm not saying that there aren't, weird relationships like that. But why is a man in a relationship with you desiring other women, in my opinion. Now, it could be, like I said, it could be that he's just that type of man, or it could be that, and this is something that a lot of women don't really talk about, is that they deprive men of the level of affection that a man wants, that a man needs, right? Certain men need. Because here's the thing where if you think biologically, women demand monogamy, okay? Or it's better suited, okay, for women to demand monogamy from certain men, right? Certain men don't necessarily demand monogamy. Now, it's beneficial for men to get monogamy where he can get sex at a more consistent, regular basis, right? Regular timing. But if given the opportunity, if he's a certain type of man, he would love to, he would like to, what is it? Oh, I forgot the words. He would like to exercise options, because honestly, I think a lot of men, they have such a high desire for intimacy, for affection, than women comparatively. So I don't know. I mean, I've been there where, and mine was extreme, right? Where we just didn't have sex for months on end, or any kind of type of affection for months on end. So, that I understand. So that's why I question, like, was his need for affection extreme, where even though you gave him affection all the time he wants, he just wanted too much?
You're not physically touching anybody, but you might as well be. It's a fantasy. Unfortunately, one of the first things I do when I go on a first date, I am gonna look at who you're following, because on Instagram, it's public. If I see a guy is following all these like big booty Latina, ass, we got a problem, shut it down.
You're not supposed to have this much access to these sexual, women in general. In a relationship, it's really hard when you have so much access, easy access to link and meet up with the people who do OnlyFans, who are on Instagram showing ass. And I do want to kind of side with men on this. I don't have a problem with men liking other women's pictures and following women on Instagram solely. I'm in a relationship. Finding that common ground is important, but I just feel like, no, I'm not gonna make you unfollow all these women from social media, because you have to be strong whether you see them in person or you see them on the streets.
Do you guys think you could date someone who has, for you guys as well, do you think you could date someone who has OnlyFans and like is successful?
No.
What do they do?
Depends.
I don't know. Okay, let's start off with they just post pictures. They don't have sex with anyone.
What kind of pictures?
Naked pictures.
No.
What about feet pictures?
Okay, feet pictures. That's cool.
If you're posting some foot pictures, whatever, man, go get it.
Because we're talking about OnlyFans from the subscriber perspective. I always wonder, what if you met someone who you're like, she's really cool, great personality, very attractive, but her job is OnlyFans.
You'd be setting yourself up for failure.
Why do you think so?
Look at her character. You don't think she's gonna not cheat on you?
I don't know.
I don't think
$1
it
million
means-
subscriber
I don't
calls
think-
in.
I don't
It's
think
a major red
I
flag.
got you a Rolls Royce.
Major red flag.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, if you're an OnlyFans creator, that you would cheat. And it depends. It's all circumstantial, and it's like, it depends. If
will
she's
cheat.
sleeping with other people, I'm still talking. If she's sleeping with other people, I mean, yeah, then she's sleeping with other people on camera. But most of the OnlyFans creators that I've heard about, all their content is by themselves. So I don't think it directly means being an OnlyFans creator would mean you're gonna cheat.
In the sense of someone who's posting pictures, she may not have just had someone in her life to tell her, like, hey, you should want to keep that for yourself.
Would she listen? Would she listen to that?
Will she listen? I mean, I grew up hearing that. I'm not on OnlyFans. We're speaking about me, but I'm just saying in general, some women who are in the sex culture, who are in pornography, there's the disconnect between self and
I know a
sexuality.
lot of women in that culture.
Do you think that feminism played a role in any of this?
I mean, the liberation of like
Women.
free choice, do what you
Yes.
want.
Get
you
back
shouldn't
at
face
men.
repercussion. I mean, I wouldn't say get back at men per se, but I think it's.
But that's dangerous to say that's what feminism
not
is
about
about,
men.
and where it stems
Pretty much
from.
is today. It's pretty much, they just want to be able to do whatever they want and have no consequences to their actions.
I think that's an umbrella.
Yeah, I feel like you cite a lot of things, too, that don't really have backing as well, and you make a lot of broad statements.
They're true though.
I think feminism maybe played a part in it, but I don't think it's the reason why women are on OnlyFans.
I agree.
Right?
I think it's
I think it plays a big role.
It's
No, it does. It does. I mean,
Women
this,
wanting
this,
independence, OnlyFans being the
Yeah,
easy way
no,
out.
no, I agree. It's this whole idea that,
10K
like,
a month? Tell me
again,
you
sexual
don't.
revolution, capitalism. It's the fastest way to make money. Basically, prostitution is the
Right.
oldest profession. I think
I was just
when-
about to solely because you brought up prostitution, but before now, women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. If you did not have a husband or a man taking care of you, what were you left with? I don't think that it's because of feminism.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful with how how we're speaking about that term, although I know that there's a lot of controversial things about feminism, but I don't believe that OnlyFans is a result of feminism.
Yeah, I wasn't saying as a
I would say this, right? In my honest opinion, I've said this countless times before, where I believe the world you see before feminism, right? You can put 100% blame on men, because men essentially was in charge, right? So whatever you believe, the disproportionate rights, no rights, whatever you want to blame, whatever the fault is, the excuse is men. After feminism, you can no longer blame men for anything, in my opinion, because this is the world where everyone has the freedom of choice. Nothing is basically nothing off the top of my head is stopping anybody from doing anything. After feminism, the creation of feminism, nothing is stopping anyone from doing anything. It's 100% your choice. Whatever happens, right? In life, it's whatever happens. You are the dictator of how the things you do in life, right? So I would say yes, OnlyFans is 100% the results of feminism. It wasn't there before feminism. Now, yes, I think, prostitution was there, but I mean, again, the explosion of it. That's the thing.
I was saying, like, it plays a
I think.
majority.
Yeah, I
of
definitely
But if
stands for
prostitution
role.
is the oldest job in the world, then it predates,
It predates feminism.
So I would say, to your point, it is because social media has become such a way to earn money quickly that then prostitution has just evolved.
I would say that's all of that.
Conclusion.
I would say
Yeah.
it's a combination of all of that, not just one or the other, but both.
Prostitution, I think before it was still kind of taboo. I don't know if OnlyFans is as taboo as like our.
I have felt more judged by black people than any other race.
I can say I felt more judged by black people because I grew up inner city, then I moved from the inner city to the suburbs. And so when I would come around like my black family or black friends from the inner city, they would be like, oh, you talk white, or oh, you act white, or if I say I want to go swimming today, oh, black people don't go swimming. They would like make comments that would just make me feel like super like, damn, like judged.
I experienced that a lot when I first moved to Memphis from Chicago at 5. Throughout all my life, I was always the different kid. In school, they would say you talk white, and it still continues. Like, people see me, my friends back home in Memphis, they see me surfing and stuff. They see me doing things that you don't usually see black people doing, and they say you trying to be white, when really I'm just trying to explore life.
Right, because I'm like, what does it even mean to be like, oh, you talk white?
Speaking like a normal, articulate person.
Exactly.
I think it comes from the stereotype that black people are uneducated. So when you sound articulate, you sound educated, they're like, damn, because I get that all the time. I went to a white private school, half of middle school, high school, all of college. It sucked to be in predominantly white communities where even the black people were saying the same thing as the white people to you.
It takes a real toll on you
Yeah.
because when people were telling me that, like saying you talk white, I would try to change the way I talk and try to fit in. And I would speak ghetto, that Memphis accent. You hear me? Like I would talk like.
And that's not normally how you talk.
And
right?
luckily, I got rid of it and went back to speaking
To
the
who
way
you
I
are.
really was.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's like crabs in a barrel mentality.
Def-
And it's kind of like, okay, what can we relate over? And that is the struggle within the black community. There's certain like experiences in which we
Oh, those ribbons. I thought all 4 of the girls walked.
find commonality or common ground. And when we see someone with a more established upbringing, like you guys were mentioning, like if someone goes to private school, I went to private schools, or it's you're whitewashed. Why do we associate success or being knowledgeable or speaking a certain way with being white?
To hold ourselves accountable within the black community would be to stop judging each other on our level of quote unquote blackness, because that is where I do think the issue is stemming from. And I think within our community, if we're telling me, oh, you're an Oreo, because like really? No, I'm educated. We need to stop talking down to each other because we have those qualities. It's not a bad thing to be
I
articulate.
think that's the majority, and we're the minority, sadly. It's like we got to leave them on the plantation. honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Can we have the disagree step forward?
I would say that is an issue within the black community where they try to say you're not black because you sound a certain way. I think that's ridiculous. Like, we're black because we're black, right? But yeah, like, I tune a lot of that stuff out. It's just if I can't use it to do something that will better my life, it does not matter to me. And I think because of that, I disconnect from a lot of black women and some black people because I don't like being a victim. I cannot be a victim. I'm like, what is the issue? Let's work on the issue. Yeah, it might be a little harder, but that's fine. You know, there's no growth without opposition, so it's like, let's just go.
Let me ask you all a question. Are people still telling you all, you talk white? Is that an experience that
Yeah.
you're all
Yeah.
experiencing now,
Yeah,
right now?
absolutely.
Wow. I have the ability to code switch.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I can definitely, you know, like it's a switch for me. So I haven't had anyone say, oh, you talking white. You know, it's more so like, you going somewhere. I've heard that my whole life from our community. I hate to use the word code switching because I know it's slang, but that's our language within the community. But outside of that, I am a very intelligent individual, so I know that I need to speak and not use Ebonics so that you'll be able to understand me. And I think that in itself outlines the fact that I feel more judged by those outside of my culture, outside of our race, than inside.
Walking around in society, I'm automatically judged by people who are not black because I'm black, and they have an expectation if I'm not dressed properly, if I don't carry myself a certain way. And I understand that, to your point, like, I refuse to be a victim, so I'm gonna, like, okay, whatever it is, like, I'm gonna present myself the best way possible so that I know I might be judged a little bit walking through the door, but at least I'm giving myself an opportunity. But yeah, I think black people, we might give each other crap for, like, being different, but at least I feel like we always have each other, most of the time, we have each other's back, I think, as black
I don't
people.
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
I-
think so.
That's
Especially not a
major-
black man with a black woman.
You don't think so?
No.
I think
How to create the divide? I don't think, in my honest opinion, I don't think as a community you guys have each other back anyway. Unless this is a thing where I say this, right? Unless it's someone from outside the community doing something to the community, right? Like I said, like it is, you know, if white people do something to black people, oh, then you come together. But within your own community, there's so much hate toward each other. Women to women, men to men, men to women, women to men, whatever. So I would not even try to distinct it between man or woman. I just think it's just there is lack of a community.
I agree there because I think that when black people at school said that I talked white, and especially with a British accent, it's even more like white. It was always more, like you say, it was kind of just like, we're in the community together. I feel like when the white people would say stuff, it was like the true attack. The girl, to an oversharing in this modern world, the girl that I lost my virginity to, white girl, and a few weeks after, she was asking my friend about me, and she was like, does he consider himself white or black? And then my friend was like, he's black. And she's like, oh, that's a shame because I'd only date a white guy, but at least I can tick a black guy off my list. And that's like my first ever like real sexual experience. When it was the black women in dating saying you talk white, you're too middle class, whatever it is, then that was just like, okay, yep, just we are different parts of the same community. When white women and other partners who would be like, you're not meeting my dad because he would never let me date a black guy, that felt like way more cutting.
In a sense, it's a fetish. And we have to be careful about that because as a black woman, you're a black man, I'm around black men. You're not a fetish for me because you are a part of my community. And so I disagree with for myself, my experiences, the black community has fully supported me. But I think when you expand outside of your, right in your face community, you'll realize that there are a lot of black women that are just rooting for black women because they're black. I mean, we can think about the
Yeah, I
election
can
in
definitely
itself.
say environment because when I lived in Atlanta, it was nothing but like black support, black love, everybody's helping each other.
You know, I can understand the notion of it being a community and that's how you go about it, right? I can understand that. I just think that sometimes it can be dangerous to blindly support people, right? Blindly support people, blindly. If you're black, we're a community. It's like, because then we forget just being human, right? Just being human, just caring about, what's more important is just a character, who they are. Right? They could probably talk about the election. This is the thing, it was blind, like, you voted for a woman because she's a woman. You voted for a woman because she's a minority woman. It's like, don't think that she's going to be your president. Is she going to improve the life of your country? You don't give a shit. Is she going to make the country better? You don't give a shit. Just because she's a woman, just because she's a minority woman. It's like, Like it's such a stupid way to go about things. Okay. And same thing with let's say community thing. Oh, you know what? We're a community, regardless of like bad people, criminals, thieves, killers, thugs. Oh, we're black. We're all black. Let's just be a community. It's like seriously, that's a community that will be on the path for its downfall, right? Because you have a community where you care. You're not focusing on what type of people are in your community. You just, oh, we are all black. That is a community. It's like, really? Really? Because at the end of the day, you don't even police your own community. You wouldn't even shame the bad parts of your community. You're not shaming, exiling, disciplining. You're not doing nothing. Oh, we're all black, so let's, we're the same. I just think that's just not a good way to go about things.
Heather, you don't see too many black men with white women there.
I carry my parents' relationship patterns.
So I just had a baby, he's 4 months, and I have a partner, we're in a relationship. But I do tell him often that my mom and my dad never married, and so marriage is not my top priority. Although I want to be married, it's not the end all be all. I think that some people are raised and they've seen their parents married, like I have to be married. I don't feel that way. And I do believe in healthy co-parenting. My parents were healthy co-parents. You would have thought they were brother and sister. So I do believe that if our relationship ends, I would be okay. I am open to being a co-parent.
So I'm in the middle with this one actually, but I was leaning more towards agree with the statement. I definitely learned unhealthy relationship habits from my parents, and they're actually the model, hi mom and dad, the model of a relationship that I am trying to avoid, and they're the reason why I know like your partner is sorry. After seeing how my parents' relationship was, I learned your partner is the #1 choice, life-altering choice you can make in your life.
Absolutely.
With my family dynamic, it's just a little unique because the dad I call dad is my stepdad because my biological father is incarcerated. He's also black. So my stepdad I call dad has been in my life since I was 1. But so with that, I would say my father being black, my mom being white. Now that I'm an adult, I can see there was a power dynamic in their relationship. And like I mentioned, I did grow up on the white side of my family. I didn't know until I started dating how differently I had grown up from other kids. I talk back to my parents because that's what they do to me.
Call them names.
Yes, so when I got my first boyfriend, he was like, what in the hell are you doing? And I genuinely did not know until I got into my first relationship, like, whoa, that's not healthy. You can't just be screaming at your partner all the time. That's not normal. And I thought that was normal because that's what I grew up around.
I think mine is pretty much exactly that, unlearning, because my parents, their relationship was at a very loud volume, and it was a lot of aggression, passive aggression. Like I got to see them like fall out of love to lead to their divorce. And my dad had my brother and sister from his first marriage, so like I think talking about inheriting patterns, I always like expected that I would have biological kids, step kids, adopted kids. I always have expected that every single relationship will at some point die and just you will never speak to that person again. So yeah, I think I've just inherited all of those patterns like you, trying to unlearn them now. But yeah, that was like my whole childhood.
We might be half brother and sister. Don't go on Ancestry DNA.
I don't remember all the circumstances in which my parents got divorced. I don't remember, I know some of it, but I was pretty young back then. But what I do know is how much the divorce impacted me just growing up and not having my dad in the house for years. Like developmentally, I think just, obviously my mom did a great job, right? You know, but as a single mom, there's only so much I think she could do. And having my dad in a different state a lot of the time, not having that male presence around really impacted my maturity, #1, my ability to be disciplined, I think. How I interacted with women in a lot of ways, I think was impacted by not having that positive sort of male role model close in my life, involved in my life. And so I say this to say, like, I've followed the relationship model insofar as that I want to get married at some point. But after seeing how that happened, how that impacted me, that's why I view marriage so important and never want my kids to have to experience that. Like, I want to be in my child's life as much as humanly possible.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. So I know that it may have came off like, oh, we can be a co-parent today, but I don't feel that way. I just feel like most times when people get in these relationships and they have children out of wedlock, or they're married and they get a divorce, they don't it's the end of the world. They don't want to work towards something better. They don't want to work for the betterment of the child. And so for me, that is the inherent view that I have, that the child is important. You have to put whatever you have aside and make sure that child is in the forefront. It can't be the end of the world for you. You can't hate this person because you created something so beautiful with them. But I do want to be married. I would love to marry my partner in this sense, but I think that my mom, this is something that I'm unlearning. My mom is the black woman. I don't need a man. I paid the bills in here. But my dad would help regardless. He could have a woman, he could have a girlfriend, but he would help towards the household. He would help her if she needed anything. He was her first call. And so I think the way I view dating is that.
My mom left her whole family for men over and over again. So she put a man above all else. That's kind of how I carried myself in primary. Like the first relationships I had, I fully poured into them, not myself, because I was like, well, they're gonna take care of me. That's what my mom's doing.
Right. But I also want to know, why does the black community not hold marriage to like a high standard?
We did when we had the most discrimination, racism, and when times were the worst for us back in the civil rights era, we were getting married at a much higher rate and staying together than we are now. And so that's why I was asking, like, how did it happen that from...
Exactly. I think before the 1950s or 40s, the black community had the highest marriage rates out of everyone. You gotta think, what's the difference at some of their worst time in history? Some of the most unsavory time in history. They were the most community-like. Okay, they were the strongest. They were developing the strongest community they ever had, and yet now, in my honest opinion, they have one of the weakest.
50s and 60s, we ended up here to where things are regressing when things should be theoretically getting better because there's more access now.
I think back in those times, it was a necessity. As a woman, being married was almost close to a necessity because of all the things you couldn't do as a woman. I think that's why we have degressed in a sense, and I think that it should be held valuable, but it will never be the necessity that it once was.
Can you disagree? Step forward.
We grew up with technology and stuff like that, so I've been shaped by so many other things and shows and experiences. I wouldn't say that it would be their relationship has shaped my relationship. I see a lot of issues that I know that I wouldn't want in my relationship if I were to get married. So I can't say that it does, no.
I probably should have agreed because I look at my parents' relationship and I learned like what not to do and what to do.
Right.
Like they raised me out of wedlock. They were never together once I was born. My dad was in my life, but honestly, I love him to death, but he's a piece of shit. Watching from how they were together, I'm doing the total opposite. I have to stick with my partner forever if we're gonna have a kid, no matter what.
Growing up, I have had other father figures, and I'd say even throughout those relationships, my mom has been consistent and she's always been very mindful of who she introduced to me. My mom never argued with anyone in front of me. She never had any disputes. So everything to me in the eyes of a child was perfect. And I feel like that is a very key and beautiful thing that a lot of people need to keep in mind and maintain.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So, because we're speaking about parents and dating habits, do you think you all levitate towards individuals who've had this same experience with their parents and the same dating habits? So, for example, if you grew up in a house with a single mom, do you think you levitate towards men who also had a single mom?
In my personal experience, especially with my mom having left when I was 16, I've struggled in my romantic relationships with my significant other's mothers every single time. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was me unintentionally gravitating towards men who had a really close relationship with their mom. Like definitely have found myself struggling in those situations. Yeah.
Same as you. Maybe we are related.
Where's my dad?
I found that, because my parents were screaming a lot of the time. When I'm with people whose families are more like happy, I'm like, why are you guys happy? I hate it. How come I can never have this? And I'll self-destruct, I'll crash out. So I really struggle. I think I go for people that have had different experiences to how I was raised, but I tremendously struggle with that.
I think that what we're missing within the Black community is spaces like this. And so now they've created this space, and now this is on the TV of those who want to watch it. So
Right,
it's
yeah.
up to us to advertise it.
All of our energy should be focused on going towards what our goal is as a community.
Right.
And then all the other extra stuff should just get put to the wayside for a second so we can figure out where it is we want to be and get there together. I think that's kind of what we need to do. And having these conversations is how we figure out what those priorities are.
And there's people that's doing that, but unfortunately, this is just not popular.
Well, it's a mature message, and immaturity is really highlighted today and supported.
Yeah.
So it's a very mature message, and it's going to be niche in an odd way.
But we got to stop highlighting the negativity, or we see something good that's happening in the Black community. Let's share it. Let's spread the message, not just spew hatred.
We can't rely on the media,
Yeah.
who's not controlled by Black people mainly, to
Exactly.
do the job for us. That has to
Right.
be something we do together.
Well, what do you guys think? It was interesting. I don't know. I mean, it was okay. I just wanted to check it out. I didn't see the video, so I wanted to check it out and react to it along with you guys. Think about it. See what's the talking points of it. So yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, thank you for watching it with me. Let me see. I mean, to be honest, there's really nothing to wrap it up with. And there's nothing more I can say because I have a whole channel full of it, right? The whole channel is filled with things I've really just reiterated and say again. So, yeah. What do you guys think?